Oh jeez, dude. What's up everybody and welcome to the video. And let's just jump right in. The meta right now in Warzone, it's not that much fun. Running the FFAR and the AUG over and over and over again, it's just getting stale, man. I need something new. I need something fresh. I need something that isn't the meta. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try a couple guns that aren't in the meta, and we're going to see if these guns are at all good or fun to use or at all viable within the meta in Warzone right now. Those two guns are the Fennec and the Dragunov. If you like content like this, consider liking the video. And let's jump right into things. So the Fennec. Why did I choose the Fennec? Well, it's pretty similar to the MAC-10, or at least it's been compared to the MAC-10 in the past. And since the MAC-10 is within the meta, maybe it would be a good gun to replace the MAC-10. Who knows? So let's just dive right into the builds I made for this gun. Now, I made a few different builds for this gun, but it turns out that this specific build was the best overall. The extended barrel with the monolithic suppressor, Ranger foregrip, 40 round drum mag, and the ZLR blade stock was a great blend for this weapon and also made it pretty viable at medium range. Let's dive right into some gameplay and see what this thing can do. Now that you've seen this gun in action, it's pretty easy to tell this gun kicks butt, especially if you hit headshots. Woo! Nasty. Comparing the stats of the MAC-10 and the Fennec, that is one of the most notable ones to point out. The Fennec does about 40 damage per headshot, while the MAC-10 does about 30. However, the MAC-10 does have 13 more rounds in its magazine, which is really useful and could be the reason why you pick the MAC-10. It also has a slightly faster fire rate, which could, lead you to picking that gun as well. I'd say recoil pattern is pretty comparable. I wouldn't say either gun is really hard to control versus the other. It really just comes down to the smaller things. And at medium range, they're both pretty decent, but they're not going to beat out like a FFAR or an AMAX. Just probably not going to happen. Overall though, for what the Fennec is set up to do, it's pretty darn nasty and debatably better than the MAC-10, or at least it's as good. And if I had to give a score, an overall score to the Fennec for what it's set out to do, I'd probably give the gun an 8.8. For what it is, the Fennec is a great gun and does its job very, very well. And if I had to pair it with another gun, I'd probably pair it with a medium to long range assault rifle, maybe a tactical rifle, yeah, the M16 or the AUG, and if you are a good sniper, maybe the Kar 98 or the SPR. Overall, the Fennec is a success. Now let's move on to the Dragunov. The Dragunov. Why did I pick this gun? Mainly because no one uses this gun. Literally nobody. I haven't seen this gun since the beginning of the game, like the first season of Warzone's existence. Like it was ground loot and maybe a few people had it as a loadout, but literally never ever see anybody using it. And so I was like, well, you gotta throw one of those in here. So that's what I did. Now I built a bunch of different builds of this gun. I set up a bunch of different loadouts, and well, let's just look into the builds and we'll get into the gameplay. The first build I decided to make, I focused on ADS speed. That is why there's the compact barrel, the tac laser, the stalker scout stock, and the added bonus of the sleight of hand perk. I thought this build would be great for medium to long range encounters and actually be able to compete maybe against guns that are designed for that range, but yeah, no, it didn't work out so great. So with the second build, I went with a completely different approach. With the second build, I went for damage and range, which is why you see the extended barrel and the Hunter Scout stock attachment. The monolithic suppressor stayed the same, as did the tac laser, and this time around I decided to switch the perk to FMJ to see what it would do against vehicles and people behind light cover. But I decided to make one final tweak and switch out the FMJ perk for a 20 round mag. Now the gameplay I'm going to show you is from all three builds, and in the corner I will show you which build it was from. The first build I showed you, the second one, or the third one. Alright, let's get to the gameplay.
Enemy UAV overhead. Time's up. Objective fire. Friendly loadout drop. Gas is moving.
So I got some kills with this gun, but to say it bluntly, this gun's just not that good. It's not going to go well against the meta at all, especially the first build that I made. The first build is a quick ADS speed, but that's going to shorten the damage range, and it's going to make it so you're going against the AUG most of the time, and that's the AUG's sweet spot, is medium to long range, and it's going to kick butt on your Dragunov, and it's good nighty night to you. Maybe use one of the other two builds if you're really keen on using the Dragunov, and I would personally use a 20 round mag version, but even then you're going up against other snipers, and I would just choose any of those over this. All the other snipers, maybe with the exception to the M82, which is also not being used at all in the Warzone, are all one hit headshot kills at any range. This gun does not take one shot to kill in the head. As you see with the stats compared to other snipers below, it doesn't down with somebody who's fully plated, and that's just a huge bummer. Big bummer. It's nice that you do get a second shot off faster than your opponent, but none of that matters when you're going up against talented players. So the Dragunov, really, I do see why no one uses this weapon. Unlike the Fennec, this gun I don't recommend unless you really just want to go up and have a challenge and just see what you can do with a weapon that is not comparable to what else is out there in Verdansk. Overall, this gun as a score for what it's set out to do, probably like a 6 out of 10. It is nice that it is semi-automatic, but the cost of it, you can't kill unless you hit 2 shots, preferably at least 1 in the head. And if you don't get a headshot, well, you might have to be 3 shots, and that's just pretty rough. It's pretty tough out there for this gun. I mean, there's some cool, nice legendary versions of this gun that look pretty cool, but looks only get you so far in life. That's what I'm saying. Overall, I wouldn't pair this with anything. I wouldn't use this gun. Just don't. Figure it out to pair it with something else. No, I'm just kidding. You can pair it probably with the FFAR or something medium-ish range, I would say. Don't pair it with the Fennec. That's what I did for this video, and whew, it was rough. It was a rough time out there, folks. It was not smooth sailing for your boy. But yeah, overall, it was fun making this video. It was fun seeing what guns are usable. Fennec, very much so. Dragunov, do not do it. Do not do it, please, unless, of course, you want a challenge. I hope you enjoyed the content that was here today. I got more videos coming out soon. If you want to stick with the channel and see what I'm up to, and you want to see future videos, consider subscribing. And as always, guys, have a great day and a great week, and blessings.
It's so hype, I'ma take flight, alright. Would you kinda please give me a like and maybe subscribe if you like, I don't know.